Okay, hello, and welcome to the very first tutorial of how to use your custom terrain generation script. Now, before I get going, I want to say thank you very much for purchasing this piece of software. You're not going to regret it. You're getting a bunch of textures for free along with the software. They may not be the best textures, and I'm not an artist. I'm more of a programmer dabbling in art, and the reason why I made this was because a year ago I said, you know what, I can't use the paintbrushes because I'm terrible in this, and as of right now I have no desire to learn how to use the paintbrushes in Unity. So I said I'm gonna make a script. So here you go. So you can see all these things on the right. It says height map, random terrain, load height, single Perlin, multiple Voronoi, midpoint displacement, and splat maps, erosion, day-night cycle, and smooth terrain. Now we will go over all of these things in due time. This episode I'm going to go over reset terrain, height map, random terrain, and load heights. So reset terrain is exactly what it sounds like. It will reset your terrain every single time you say, okay, I want to generate a new terrain. And that's where you'll be using a lot of the random terrain. You'll be maybe using some of these down here to single, multiple Voronoi, and midpoint displacement. You guys can see exactly what every single one of these does. This is like combining all three of those manipulation of terrain. So the first thing that I will do is just click random heights. Now you can see it just gave me like this really nice looking oasis. Maybe this will be a lake down here, just sprawl out. And let's say, it doesn't go super high, but these look like these look like massive mountain ranges from this height right here, right? So like I'm bringing myself all the way down. They're pretty big. I enjoy that. So like, let's say I like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And then this would be the point of which where I would say I can start texturing, which is splat maps. We'll go over that another day. So height maps, what this does is it actually gives you a height map. It shows you what it looks like. So the grayer or the whiter it is, that's a higher the value. So for example, if it's completely white, you're going to have a peak, or it's going to be completely flat. So I can actually show you guys what that looks like right here. See how that's completely flat? If I hit refresh, you see how white that is, and you can see kind of like the Voronoi doing its thing. Voronoi is, if you look at Fractal, a snowflake, right? That has a bunch of patterns to it. Well, Voronoi by itself is extremely easy to predict. But once you add in the Perlin noise, Perlins, and midpoint displacement, actually makes it a little bit more random. And then as you go through, you can create more and more really cool height, really cool maps. Like that one was kind of boring, but this one's kind of cool. Like I enjoy that. It kind of reminds me of here's like the passage, and then you have to go through the passage. One thing that I would recommend too is if you are good with the paintbrush, maybe you start off with this as a base. That way you don't have to worry about, okay, now I have to build all this stuff and layer. Like that's done. Now I just have to make, maybe if I want a moat, I'll make a moat. That kind of stuff. So the height map, again, just shows you the height map of this from black and white. Load heights, it's exactly what it sounds like. Your map scale, it's essentially a universal thing. So 512 by 512. If you're going to go up to 1024 by 1024, you have to put all these by 2, and then so on and so forth by 3 by 4. It doubles each time. So if you have a height map, you can click and drag it into this texture and then load that, and it will pop up and actually make your terrain exactly the way that you saw it before. So that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the series.